There isn't time to recap the 10-year-plus debate over canola, and no one here wants me to, so I'll try to limit to the key points. The Willamette Valley Protection District for canola rose out of three facts. One, this valley is the site of the most, possibly the most, valuable specialty brassica seed production in the world. These guaranteed organic specialty seeds command a premium price that supports an amazing number of small farms when small-scale farming is so hard to make profitable. Two, the premium price depends on the complete confidence of their customers that the seed is guaranteed to be organic and free of other kinds of seeds mixed in. We had documentation last year for some of the world's largest buyers that they would source their seeds elsewhere if protection from cross-contamination with other plants could not be guaranteed. Canola is cited as one of their prime concerns because the historical record shows that it can be particularly robust in terms of cross-contamination. And finally, cross-contamination with genetically engineered seeds is a complete deal breaker for the clientele of the organic specialty seed clients. We can debate how rational the concern about GE may be, as scientists much more qualified than us have been doing across the world, but I guarantee we won't come to agreement. Either way, the relevant market's attitude that it will not take chances is a plain fact. On the subject of scientific validity, let me comment on testimony you'll find in the record that the science is settled that canola won't harm other nearby seed crops. That is plainly not the case. The work of one OSU researcher that had a quotation to that effect was repeatedly offered to assert that there's no reason to be concerned. As it turns out, that scientist study doesn't address in any significant way the issue of cross-contamination, which is what's dead center in this entire conflict. That's the potential problem that the specialty seed industry's companies are worried about. That's the threat that could ruin this market. A 10-minute Google project will take you to well-credentialed views that there is serious doubt here. It is hard, colleagues, to deal with an issue like this without a shared foundation of facts, especially in a realm where so few of us have expertise. We still have to do our best to select the path we think best serves Oregonians. You may remember passing Senate Bill 789 last session through this chamber. It would have extended the 500-acre limit on canola in this protection district indefinitely. That proposal didn't pass the House, and instead Representative Helm convened a work group in the interim, and that diverse work group worked. With flexibility all around, they came very close to solving this. I thought of that recently in committee when some farmers reminded us how very tough farming is these days, the set of economic and environmental challenges they have to overcome. It is really hard. They stressed how much they could use more space for canola. If the work group agreement that came so close to completion had been finalized, they would have had more space, a lot more space. Here is my understanding. The 500-acre canola cap would have immediately grown to 2,500 acres, and after 2 years would have been lifted entirely. Canola could have been planted anywhere, subject to required separation distances and a pinning system to keep track. The elimination of the canola cap was a very big give from groups worried about cross-contamination. And in return, they got agreement there would still be a 500-acre limit in the district on genetically engineered canola. At first, that sounded like no problem because statements were made firmly that farmers in the district don't use GE canola anyway. For some reason, that statement was later withdrawn, and the correction was that the area does have some GE canola. We were now told the acreage of GE is slowly growing. Testimony in our committee indicated it's now reached a total acreage somewhere north of 100 acres. That led someone in the negotiations to reject the 500-acre limit on GE canola that had been offered in return for a complete lifting of the cap on non-GE canola, and the deal unraveled. If it hadn't, the farmers we heard from in committee could be growing canola on all the land they could get their hands on. I wouldn't be making this carry, and we could all focus on other issues. It's a painful near miss. The bill before us does one thing. It extends the sunset of the Willamette Valley Protection District's provisions with its 500-acre canola cap to 2028. The governor's office prefers that date and has been very clear about its commitment to do everything they can to help get this issue resolved soon. They understand that the sunset date is later than some would like, and they have committed to convene the right stakeholders very soon, provide necessary resources, and seriously get to work, very likely using the agreement that almost was as their starting point, the one that could release so much acreage in the valley to canola production. Their clear goal is to get this conflict behind us well before 2028, because none of the busy and critically important members of the Willamette Valley's farming community has been enjoying all of this even a little bit. Colleagues, I ask your support for House Bill 4059A.